trying to center off with Eckerly, and he just missed the net. O'Reilly with the shot, scored! Down, he scored!
Come from behind for a month. Now with the lead, they're getting a little wobbly. Philadelphia, they won't get it! Wow! Edwards pulls off and buries the flag! Shot for Derby!
Welcome into Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caratanudo at Diablos00 on X. And no, I did not create that Twitter handle just for this show. I've had it forever and been a alum and homer for a very long time. But at Diablo00 on X, the artist formerly known as the Twitter, as you all know. Also, my IG got all those issues worked out from yesterday at michael.caratanudo.5. And the YouTube channel, guys, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm telling you, if you miss anything, because you're about to, if you're checking this out live, I know who you guys are. But nonetheless, go to the YouTube channel and subscribe, because anything you miss, you can go back and binge watch the show. And it's about ASU athletics. So why would you not want to watch the show? Also, lastly, before we get to our awesome first interview, and again, off the top of the show, don't forget, you can now listen live to the show on the greatest internet radio station on the web, the Casual Sports Radio Network. Pitchfork Lunch is live there. Those watching, let your friends know if they can't get out of the office, come meet you for lunch at this perfect time. Go to www.ksrnaz.com and page will open up. Bam, click listen live, hit play, Pitchfork Lunch, get all caught up in the know in Sun Devil Nation amongst all the other great coverage Casual E has on the Casual Sports Radio Network. But again, www.ksrnaz.com, and we will go from, and you can, again, get all caught up. But like I said, this is so awesome. I aim to bring you the best guests. And, last year, again, he came over as a very, very recommended coach to Coach Dillingham. We'll get to that in a second. But the man in charge of the trenches up front, which is, still the most important part of football. Everybody talks about passing and all this and spread out, open up. Well, if you don't got the big dudes up front, guess what? You can't get it done. And the offensive line coach of your Arizona State Sun Devils, Coach Tuitele, joining me. Coach, man, thanks so much for taking the time. I appreciate it. And I appreciate this is your first time here on Pitchfork Lunch, the ultimate ASU alum homer show. Yes, I can be fair, Coach. I know it's not all rainbows and unicorns, but two things I live by. A, I'm a homer. B, I can talk trash about that school down south, but I will respect them because I don't want to give them any kind of advantage, Coach.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I appreciate you having me. Appreciate being here, brother.
Oh, look, let's get started with this. I mean, it's just last year, obviously, you come in and we got to sit down and talk then, and it's just funny because talking to Coach Dillingham before I got to talk to you is one of those things where, he's talking about offensive line coach, and he says, your name just kept coming up. And he's like, after a little bit, he's like, I really do have to talk to this coach. But talk about your path here to ASU. And I mean, again, when first meeting Coach Dillingham, obviously, an alum, a young, energetic coach. But what was that like for you going through the interview process and then starting up here at ASU?
Well, I was just fortunate enough to be able to coach offensive line at any level, but I was at Fresno State at the time. We had just won the Mountain West Championship in Boise in December of 2022, And I was actually at a home visit, and it was actually at Kyle Scott's house. And I can say that because he's part of our team.
Exactly. I was going to say, wait, don't say anything you can't.
No, I was actually at my guy Kyle Scott's, and just visiting with he and his folks, and my phone just kept buzzing, and my watch kept buzzing, and it's funny. His mom said, she's like, "Coach, you got to take that." I said, "No, we're good." And then I got in the car, and I saw a text, and it was from Kenny, and he wanted to talk, and so we got to talking, and I remember it vividly. It was a Monday night, and I talked to him, and we had a great conversation, and he, he loved it. Asked football questions, asked just ask questions that I knew that were good questions, and I knew that a coach that is building things the right way would ask, and it was awesome, and so I felt good with him and felt good with the vibe, and then next day, gave me a chance to talk to my wife, and he called, offered me the job, and I talked to my wife and said, hey, give me half the day. Talked to my wife, and she okayed it, and she's the boss of it, and we became Sun Devils. So we've been on a good ride since.
Oh, absolutely. And again, it's I mean, you were at Fresno State, I want to get to that, but getting to coach, and I know I talked to you about this before, but getting to coach at Army. I mean, my grandpa served in the Army, and the Gaudy numbers you put up rushing, everybody's like, well, Army runs the ball. I go, it doesn't matter if you want to run the ball, and I know I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but people, it matters if you can run the ball consistently and just set that tone. But your time there at West Point at Army, what was that experience like for you? And I mean, even in your growth as a coach, but what was that experience like for you?
Well, I was there. I was fortunate enough to coach there twice early in my career under Stan Brock in 07, 08. And then I went back in 2021 under Coach Monken. So I've been fortunate enough to see two ends of the spectrum and been able to be coached there twice. But you're dealing with young men that love football first and foremost, and they love their country, and they want to play ball, they want to serve, they want to do what they're supposed to do, but at the same time they want to compete to play at the highest level. And so I think that when you get those young men that be able to play Division I football and to handle Ivy League academics, and then the military part of it, they're dealing with special kids. So I knew when I left that place, I was eventually want to come back and play for them, or coach for them, excuse me. And I loved it. And so I was able to, Coach Monken was able to get me back and allow me to coach again for those 2 years in 2020 and 2021. So this is a big week for them. Beat Navy. You got to. This is for all those who are watching. That's the lone game Saturday, and you got nothing to do. Just turn on TV and watch football at its purest.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I've said for years to anyone, I'm like, man, that is definitely. I remember just growing up as a kid watching it, and every year, I mean, watching it with family, but my grandpa, and just like that game, and just not even like the pageantry, but I mean, it literally is one of the rivalries that, I mean, the trash talking, I know, between the branches goes on, but they're obviously all working towards one goal. But man, that is a bucket list game for me to get out to, Coach, because like you say, you're in the midst of what are some of are there any I guess if you could say, are there any pranks that one, service academy might try to play on the other, like before the game, or, I mean, again, they're focused and I know it, but is there a prank or just a leave it like a, just a little emblem left behind just to remind them who they're playing the next day?
No, it's just, it's a special game. It's like a bowl game. I was explaining to one of the coaches, you said it right. If you're able to do it, it's a bucket list. I mean, you should go do it and see the whole history behind it. And you got both academies been there a long time, Revolutionary War days, and to see those proud programs go at it, it's a sight to see. Then as a coach, you're there, but it's a game. You get there and say, all right, it's football. My guys versus their guys, and how do we get first downs, and how do we out execute it? So it's a fun game to be a part of. It's an honor, and and it's funny that the week leading up, they do all these videos, and if you get a chance to see it online, the videos between the soldiers that are currently in the Army or in the Navy, and they're making their spirit videos, what they call, and they're hilarious, and they're going after each other, and they're taking their turns and taking their shots. So it is hilarious seeing them make fun of each other in the spirit video. So if you have a chance to see it, and they play it throughout the week, they play it throughout the stadium, throughout the game, and those spirit videos, and you'll have 3-star generals, you have admirals, you'll have all those people who are involved in both branches just going at each other. So it is fun.
Well, your first time coaching it, I'll leave this one on that. Your first time, like you said, getting to coach but coaching in that game.
Yeah.
When you were walking out on the field, was it hard not to have the deer in headlights look with everything that's going on?
Well, the first time I ever did it was in 2007. And I remember the Secret Service all over the place because I believe it was that game. It was that at the time, President Bush was the president. And he had addressed the team, and you're trying to get your routine and your warm-ups. And I remember bumping into one of the Secret Service guys, and he was standing behind me, and I was warming up my guys for pregame. And I turned around, and I was going to say something. I was like, "Oh, it's the president!" And so the president interrupted my pregame to shake the players' hands, and they all looked at me, and I was like, "You better shake his hand. I said, that's your commander in chief." I said, our snap count and our footwork isn't going to change. So you better shake this guy's hand. And so that I remember that warming up, and I remember President Bush there, like interrupting my individual time for the warm-ups to shake the players' hands. And then eventually I said, "All right, come on, President, let's go. I got to get my guys warmed up." But that I thought that was fun, and just being able to see that, and in 2020, President Trump did the same thing, came to the game, and our guys. And I was starstruck. I was like, man, with all the Secret Service and all the people there that are affiliated with the game, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. You probably thought you bumped into some cameraman. You're like, get out of my way.
It did.
You turn around.
No doubt. I thought it was my GA or something. I was going to let him have it, and I said, "Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry."
Good thing you didn't yell. Yeah, not yelling at the Secret Service or the president. That's a good one.
Yeah.
No, but all right. So when I say to you, Big 12 champs, I know your guys are focusing. It's always the next game, but man, has that sunk in yet, Coach? I mean, Big 12 champs.
No, it hasn't. Because you're preparing for the next part of the season, whether it's recruiting or whether it's the playoff game, and you just prepare, and I think that's what it hadn't hit us yet. It hadn't hit me yet. I just, because we're doing the next thing. And I know when it's all said and done, we'll sit back and it's like, man, we're Big 12 champs and everything the boys have accomplished. But, we're moving on to recruiting and game planning and things like that. So, and we're fortunate, we're blessed to be recruiting and game planning at the same time. So it's awesome.
Right. Let me ask you about that from a game planning sense. And obviously I know you guys are well versed, but I don't want trade secrets given away here. But
yeah,
obviously getting the first round bye is huge. 3 weeks off. I know it's like having extended bye weeks in bowl season, and you as a coach, obviously, that. But not having the bye and knowing like one of the two teams you're playing from an advanced scouting standpoint, you're putting in hours. I mean, do you put in hours obviously on both teams, like from seeing what they've done?
Well, what we're doing is focusing on us and seeing what we do well, what we need to change and tweak, and if there's any tendency. We're treating this like a bye week, and just when you have that week and you focus on yourself, we'll focus on what I need to do as a coach to get these guys better, what my guys need to do, what they need to do better, what they're doing well, and so you just kind of use this week to fix what we need to be fixed, and see what's going wrong, but see what's going right.
Right.
And build off of that and kind of plug holes on the things we need to plug holes to. So, I think it's a good week, and it's a good week of rest and recovery for our players to focus on finals and get some time away a little bit, and at the same time for the coaches. And Coach Kenny's been awesome, and we're all able to be dads and husbands, in the afternoons right now, and we're still grinding in the recruiting world, and we're still doing that, but we're doing that on my couch, and making calls for my daughter's basketball game the other day, and it was awesome. So we're able to do that, and it's one of the benefits of working for a coach like Kenny, who truly believes in family, and truly believes in, and doesn't just say it, but he lives it. And it's a good, healthy week of just cleaning stuff up and getting stuff ready for us and then on the team and for the family.
And that's awesome, because again, it's in everything. I mean, it is a work-life balance. If you're constantly just like go go go, even though you're dialed in. There was a guy I heard speak years ago, and he said you could be so dialed in and you'll be so shocked that you miss something.
Yeah,
because you got to have that balance, like that little getaway, like not little, but a getaway. So you're even more focused. But the O-line this year, obviously last year, a lot of guys, I mean, it was baptism by fire because of the mash unit, knock on wood, that we've talked about. But man, coming into this year, obviously Leaf comes back, and I know Leaf's familiar with Coach Arroyo, being at UNLV, and you were at, Fresno State. So you kind of, have that familiarity. But man, the growth of this O-line, to have somebody like Leaf obviously being the anchor of it at center. But man, what have you seen? You're around him every day, but just into not just develop, I mean, the guys out there, but the depth, and how has this group grown? Because obviously, we'll get to him in a second, but they've led a pretty good running attack, which we talked about earlier. But man, how has this line grown, and how much did that baptism? I mean, I think of somebody like Max last year, kind of baptism by fire. Like, yeah, we know you're talented and you're getting better, but get on out there and play. The ball's out, But how have they grown, and just how is that, maybe tough experience from last year helped this group?
Well, it just starts with belief, and those guys believed, and everything that we went through last year, they all grew from it, and they didn't really play bad. They was just, we didn't have a lot of numbers, and so you got guys like Max and Sean Naa, and even Kate Briggs, and those kids that had to play and played different positions, and they played well. And so them coming into it, they were hungry. They knew that we can do better up front, and they did. They worked their tails off in January all the way through the off season to the spring, and what you see is growth from January to now. And like for instance, when we played against Arizona, and I said, fellas, you're not playing this. You're not preparing for them this week. You've been preparing for this your whole year. And the same thing I told them in the Big 12 championship. I said, we are absolutely playing Iowa State, but you've been preparing for this the whole time, and all the tough times and the adversity that we gave them, and you see it. They're playing together. You as a coach, you get them to play discipline, to play hard, and then you get them to play discipline hard and with some confidence. And then you start to see they're playing discipline, they're playing hard, they're playing confident. Now they're playing together. And as a unit, and then you see the offense just kind of grooming, and it takes time. Every coach wants day one to be, hey, we're going to play discipline. We want it all right there, but we understand it's a growth. And as long as you're playing the best football at the end of the year, that's what you really want it to be. You want it consistent, but you want them to improve every game. And I think as an offense, and particularly offensive line, they're doing that. And they've learned the lessons from last year, from earlier this season, and they've taken with them, and they're not making the same mistake twice. We're not perfect, by no means, we're not, but they're trying not to make the same mistake twice, and they're learning how to feed off each other and play off each other, and we're finishing stronger and as a unit.
And I want to, and again, anyone that's seen the games, you can, again, it's just awesome when you see that. It might, like you say, it might not, the patience part, of course, is like a game to me, because, you might be running, it might not happen in the first quarter.
Yeah.
But, a little more in the second, the third. By the fourth quarter, you've worn the defensive line, the rotation on the defensive line down. And I mean, that's where to me, that's where, when I see it, that's where they've grown. It's awesome to see. I saw Leaf yesterday, obviously one of the finalists for the Polynesian Player of the Year, which is awesome. Part of the Pat Tillman Leadership Council, which, Coach Dillingham has talked about. as a center, you always have enough pressure, obviously calling out everything, getting on the same page with the quarterback. But in your, I mean, in your eyes, though, when I think about asking it this way, like how much did he help the growth of this line, but B, like Sam Levitt, obviously competitive and talented, but a redshirt freshman quarterback coming in, and every week Sam Levitt's done whatever he's had to do, whatever the offense is doing, he's good with. But someone like Leaf and him obviously being on the leadership council, what do you feel that meant to the growth of the line, but just Sam as well?
Well, anytime you have an anchor or something solid that you can always count on, it's always comforting for a coach, for a quarterback, for a running back. You just know that the middle of the offense is going to be taken care of. That Leaf is going to do his job, and whatever the task is asked of him, he's going to do it. And he does a good job of trying to be on the same page with Sam. And there's some, obviously, when it's protections or checks, we're as much aligned as anybody. And then there's some times Sam wants to change it, and I say, hey, Sam got the ultimate say, and it's it. And Sam is very prepared. He's very smart, and Leaf is a guy like, all right, Sam wants to do it, let's do it. And it's most of the time it's right, and so they've learned. You get an older center. Sometimes they're like, no, we're doing it this way. But Leaf, as humble as he is, he knows that Sam is prepared, and Sam grinds. And so he trusts him. He trusts if Leaf wants to do one thing and Sam wants to do another, that, you know what, let's do it Sam's way. And it's awesome. It's awesome to see his growth. And I know, he and Sam work well together, and it's a good feel, and they have just a good connection there. And it's just nice having that solid, just that solid foundation. And even for me as a coach, I can watch different things because I know he's going to take care of business. I can watch, the point of attack. I can watch this guy, and I can watch this matchup per play, right. And then I'll peek at Leaf. But I just know that he's going to do his job, and he's going to win his one-on-one. He's going to get us in the right direction. He's going to get us in the right scheme. And if he doesn't, he knows it, and we can fix it really, really fast. And so just knowing that, having that confidence and that foundation in the middle of the offense is huge.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and keep into that, obviously the year Cam Scattaboo had, just amazing. So I know they have to be blocking for him. I got to ask you this kind of light one first. Is it kind of funny? Like, have you seen on film where they're blocking and then, they feel that they see that he gets by and they just kind of let their guy go because they're in awe of him, just like lowering his shoulder, trucking dudes, and just absolutely, keeping going. You ever see that? Not they're doing their job, but are they kind of like, oh my God, and they're just looking over at how many linebackers or DBs he's putting his shoulder down to?
Well, I know they enjoy watching it. They enjoy, like, they try to do their job as fast as they can so they can peek over there. And, they listen to the crowd. So the crowd starts cheering. They try to find, like, where's Cam to see what he's going to do next. And then, like I said, man, Cam's a dog. Cam is the best running back in the country. It's a shame he's not in New York this weekend, but that dude's a dog. He's a ball player. He's smart. He's bright. He's inspiring. He plays the game. He's the way he's supposed to be played. He's a great teammate, and I can't speak enough about Scat, and he's a dog, and he's one of the best players in the country, and he deserves the recognition, and our guys feed off of him, and he's a violent runner, and he's a physical runner, and I love watching DBs turn it down. I love watching DBs, like, you make a business decision and try to get out of his way. And so do our guys. Our guys, the guys that are playing, they can't wait to get to the iPad. And I'm trying to get, hey, watch this. Our blocking. He's like, no, watch Cam. And so and they feed off each other. And how hard he runs, it helps our guys fly down there. And you've seen in us just fly down there and just jump in on the pile as much as we can and push the pile because of our culture, and Cam is part of that culture, and how hard he plays and how much he loves his teammates. So we return the favor, not just by doing our job, but just covering down and trying to push the pile and help him get those extra yards.
Right. And I've talked to Coach Iguano, obviously, the running backs, but that he's had in the room and throughout the years. But obviously the running backs working, almost hand in hand with the offensive line. Yes, on running plays, but on pass protection. And Cam said somebody had asked Cam when we were talking to him out at practice and about, the line, about Kyle Scott's growth. And he said, yeah, he goes, I don't have any problems with that. He goes, hey, if you miss something, like you guys always say, miss it at 100%. You're probably going to somebody else. He's like, I got you. But in working with Coach Iguano and the running backs, I mean, obviously it's very key. But what's that like for you? Because I mean, the experience he has in running backs, they want to get the ball, but they also, I mean, in the backfield, well, there's been Cam or Kyson or DeCarlos. I mean, they've picked up some blitzers too and laid some pads down there. What's that like working with Coach Iguano, but just kind of getting the running backs in that set of being on the same page with the offensive line?
Well, it's like a well choreographed dance when they're picking up blitzes, and the trust that that the line and the running backs have and the quarterback. It's a math equation. We got 5 old linemen, and we're expected to pick 5 guys up. If there's a running back, there's a 6th guy, the running back has him. If there's a 7th guy, the quarterback's gonna have him. And the professionalism that Coach Iguano brings, and how his running backs are, prepared and well versed and communicating, and even when it's not clear, they communicate. They'll ask the line, what the communication, what the call is, or whatever it is, and it's awesome. And there's a lot of those hours of practice and walkthroughs and jog throughs and all this stuff and film that they go through, and they go through every look and they communicate. And when they pick stuff up and people pat them on the back, I was like, well, that's what you're supposed to do, and that's what you prepared for. And so they have a standard when it comes down to that, and they have a standard of what to do and how to prepare. And we're not perfect, and I'll tell you that. But the running backs are almost, as good as it can be. And then Sam, if there's a 7th guy or an extra rusher, Sam makes things happen with his arm, and he makes the right read, or he makes the guy miss and just creates and extends the play. So, it's a really, really good operation as far as the communication, the backs, knowing what to do, who to block and who to set free. And I'll tell you, Sam is one of the brightest kids I've ever had, behind us, and he's only a freshman. And him saying, hey, leave this guy, in our words, in our code words, and our lines, like, all right, that's him. And it's awesome. He has a plan. Sam has a plan. Sam's, Coach Oro's done a great job, and they have a plan. They're prepared, and they're prepared to trump some of our calls, which we're good with. Hey, we trust Sam. We trust Coach Oro and to do their job, and they're expecting us to do ours. So, and the running backs are phenomenal, whether it's the run game or pass game. They do a great job. They're a fun group to work with.
Yeah, like you said before, too, Coach, I'll get you out of here on this. I mean, look, you can't spell fanatic without fan. And my show, like I said, from a journalistic side, it is a little bit of a homer show, but I got to talk about things that sometimes, last year, things, injuries or not, like Coach Dillingham would say, like, I think he was a little harsh. Nobody cares. Well, everybody's got their problems. They're going to roll the ball out and play, but it was tough. But the energy you guys brought every practice, and the players and the guys that obviously stuck around, the competition it built. But I say that to say this, that Cam should be in New York. Win or not is one thing, but the weekly awards he got is also obviously an extension of the O-line. And I know Cam talked about that all year, because you see it like, those guys do their job. Like, I can do mine. And I got to, take on some guys or whatever, but that's because I'm already past their area. Well, look, I know you always got to take somebody out, but I'll ask you it this way. I mean, it is frustrating he's not in New York because of the season he's had. And I see the guys there. I mean, I talked about Ashton Genty and Travis Hunter all year long on this show too. Like, you're not performing like that unless people are, you're very good. Cam Ward and Dylan Gabriel, not saying they didn't have very solid good years. I mean, Oregon's the only undefeated team left, as we all know. But like, when you look at it, again, when everybody says the eye test and they talk out of both sides of their mouth, but they don't use the eye test, Coach, like, it's an absolute bummer. But what are I guess, when you look at it from Cam's standpoint, I mean, okay, it adds fuel, but I mean, how frustrated as a would you say the O-line is? How frustrated is the O-line as a group? Because it's like they know what he's done. And again, it's not just about, you look at numbers, but you don't get those numbers unless you're absolutely, like you guys say, cracking skulls and dominating.
Yeah, we just, we feel up front, we want our skill guys to get as much recognition as they can, because they're from the Jordan Tysons to the Cam Scadaboos to the Sam Levitts to, all those guys, Milquan Stovall. And we want to put them up.
By the way, Coach, real quick, because the fact I'm glad you just said Milquan, because I would have forgot to say it.
Yeah.
Because the fact you can run the ball so good, that 4th and 1 and Milquan's pattern, like his pattern running, that hesitation and the 4th and 1 and Sam's like on his. I mean, I know you saw the play. I gotta say, too, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Milquan, like.
But the detail of that route, like, the safety was waiting for
Milquan
to block him
when he paused.
And he did his job. He did it all practice. And I told the O-line, I said, you watch. I said, Marcus is going to call that, man. And they're like, really? 3rd and 4th and 1? I said, well, you watch. He's going to call it. And he did it. And as soon as they scored, they were like pointing up. They did a gesture that Marcus that's inappropriate right now about guys with guts calling that. And it was awesome. The boys, they called it. And when they broke the huddle, like, all right, here we go. And so and then well executed from Sam, and Sam buying some time and the faith with Scat and just everybody, but like I said, like, I wouldn't say we're frustrated that Cam's not there. We just, we want the offensive line, the guys up front, we want to celebrate the skill guys as much as we can. We want to celebrate our teams as much as we can and give them as much accolades, because they are, man, they make our team. And, we block up front. That's what we're supposed to do. And that's what our guys are trained to do. We block and we show up, we protect the ball carriers, and then we leave. And so that's, that's why, the group is got a standard and the culture to where we're doing this for them. We're in the service industry. We're serving our quarterback. We're serving our running back. That's what we do. And in the meantime, we're going to serve some ass whoopings for people that are in front of us. And so we're in the service industry, and we want everything. We want everything for our skill guys to because they deserve it, man. Those dudes are guys, and they're well coached, and they execute it well, and we want our skill guys to get every accolade that they deserve.
Well, and again, you've definitely you've definitely helped them earn it, because like I always say on my posts, it is well earned. People say, oh, they deserve this. Well, yeah, they might deserve it, because to your point, just right there, they most definitely earned it. But yeah, no, just a phenomenal play calling. Again, when you can run the ball and get that defensive line to hesitate just that much, Sam Freeby can put it on there, man. I was just it was awesome. But Coach, man, and I always say this to my fans, because I know I've said it to you before, you are one of the most skilled, quiet yellers or silent yellers, like I've told you before. And people look at me, I'm like, look, if you go around up in certain families, I go, they're yelling at you, but it's quiet, because there might be a thing, but you're in for it. But like you always say, and I've said on the show before too, and like you said to me, it's not about how I say it, it's about what I'm saying to you. And some guys you gotta fire up, but I appreciate your ninja skill in that, Coach. I'm not giving secrets how you do it away, but I just appreciate the ninja skill. But hey, man, thanks so much for jumping in, and I look forward to seeing practices and get ready for. I was training myself to say the Fiesta Bowl, but the Peach Bowl. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's the playoffs. Yep. Awesome. You've done a phenomenal job. And hey, man, thanks for taking your first trip in here to Pitchfork Lunch.
I appreciate it. Anytime. Go Devils.
Oh, that is awesome. And that is Coach Saga Tuitele. And again, the O-line, man, just again, I always say, grass isn't greener, but not for one day, but for like 1 week, if I could be like, and it's not like I'm, Napoleon and, 5'4" or whatever he was. But yeah, to be like, height of an offensive lineman, and just to see the world from that view would be awesome. But Coach Tuitele's done a great job. So forks up to Coach for joining us. Absolutely awesome. We appreciate it, Coach. We'll step aside. Hey, man, a lot to digest there. We'll step aside. We come back, talk a little bit about more what Coach said, plus get into hockey and Coach Thurman too from golf. A little bit of news there. So we shall step aside and have more Pitchfork Lunch coming right up.
KSRN has the inside track on all things sports, with topics and opinions from former players and local personalities. Catch 15-year NFL veteran Ed Smith and Jay Adams on Easy Sports Talk every Saturday.
Unfortunately, with this back and these knees, I don't quite have that ability, or at least I use.
For all things Arizona Cardinals, tune in Monday nights with Casual E and Sean Connell.
Bird Gang, I know it was another tough loss, but keep encouraged. We miss you, BA.
And now you can exclusively listen to former Arizona Cardinal Jeremy Bridges on his show, JB and Benny Blue Review.
Exactly.
Don't be dumb.
Sending a message out to the world.
Always relaying that message. Don't be dumb.
Yes, your guy, Benny Blue, comedian extraordinaire.
Exclusively on KSRN, Casual Sports Radio Network.
This is the sound of a racing heart. It's beating a little faster because it belongs to a young child. But this child isn't in the middle of a close soccer game or playing with her puppy in the yard. Her heart is racing because she's just been told she has to move foster homes again. Change a child's story. There's a child waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at casaforchildren.org. This is the sound of...
Got a big painting project you've been putting off because you don't think you can afford it? Well, it's time to call the team at Customer First Solutions. Customer First is your one-stop shop for all home repairs, from full interior and exterior painting to handyman services, drywall repair, electrical, and plumbing. Customer First has the most competitive prices in the Valley. Your flat rate quote is based on the square footage of your home, and that includes wall repair. All Customer First technicians are licensed, bonded, and fully background checked for your assurance. Call or text Customer First Solutions at 480-877-0255 for your free quote. Customer First Solutions, where our customers and their homes are our first priority.
You are listening to the best internet radio station on the web, KSRN, Arizona.
Absolutely. You're listening to the best internet radio station on the web. For those listening on KSRN, again, go to www.ksrnaz.com. Page will open up. Man, go to listen live Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Bam. Pitchfork Lunch is here for you. Bringing you the goods as we just brought you Coach Saga Tuitele, the offensive line coach. Again, coached at, he's been at Fresno State, Cal Poly, obviously Army, and coaching in that Gaelic. I mean, great. If you missed any of it, again, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can go to YouTube. You see my name, Michael Caratino, but it's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005 at MVC005 on YouTube, and subscribe. Again, you miss a interview with Coach Tuitele, again, the guy in charge of the Hogs up front. And they have, again, last year, mastering it. But guys play well, like you said. I mean, they were growing, they were playing okay. But the whole baptism by fire. Yes, you come to college and your recruits. High school to college. Like, yes, that is a big jump. College to pro, a jump, but at the same time, like, offensive line wise, growth wise, like guys were, like you said, they were playing good. They were growing, they were playing good. But yeah, this year, I mean, Lee Fontano again in the middle, at center, Ben Coleman at has been a guard again, and I mean, Josh Atkins, Kyle Scott, Max Ionichor again, like Emmett Boley, man, Cade Briggs, like you said too, just again developing like depth there, but man, just punishing teams. And you heard it straight from coach's mouth. So again, they're in the service industry, and like he said, serving up a few ass whoopings, and definitely a big fan of that. Again, got to have that streak as a offensive lineman, and yeah. And Leaf and Ben might be the again, focus leaders might be the kind of the jokesters, and somebody will be doing an interview, and Leaf will be walking by, like he would do it to CJ fight almost every time. But look, the way this unit's playing, the way they've played, the way they've grown and coached, I mean, just again doing that job, getting the most out of it. I mean, like I said, when he was at Army, I mean, they were rushing for 200. And again, Army, yes, rushes the ball. We all know that. But in 2020, the 2021 Army squad posted the second highest rushing tally in the FBS at 280.6 yards per game. Rushing for 280 yards a game. I mean, you're chewing up the clock again. It is very it's a fast game. But yeah, 280.6 yards per game. And again, if you're running the ball, pass off, but still they gave up just 0.54 sacks per game, which was the lowest tally in the FBS in 2021. The 2020 team rushed for 273 yards a game, which was fourth in the FBS, and just 0.75 sacks per game, which was sixth. So, but again, coaching at the at West Point, again, just phenomenal. So, like you said, it is definitely a bucket list game for those that have not been out there or been to it, i.e., yours truly. But yeah, I just, man, it is definitely a game that one must get to. And yes, that definitely will get there. But yeah, if you missed that, again, my YouTube channel, it's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005 at MVC 005 on YouTube. Go there, subscribe, again, binge watch, get all caught up. But yeah, I mean, look, it's and Coach said it perfectly right there. Obviously, you want your skill guys to get these awards, because if they're getting these awards, or they're up for these awards, or they're having these insanely awesome seasons, I mean, over 1,500 yard rusher and over 1,000 yard receiver. So, I mean, you want them to do that, because in doing that, that means, again, like he said, they're delivering a few ass whoopings up front. But yeah, just such a phenomenal job he has done. So again, gotta thank Coach Tuitele there for coming on Pitchfork Lunch again. Told you, bringing you the awesome coaches. So you can again subscribe, go check that out. By the way, some news and notes going on. So Matt Thurman, who we've had on the show, forks up to Coach Thurman, but definitely forks up to Coach Thurman. He was inducted into the Golf Coaches Association of America's Hall of Fame. It was in Las Vegas. and he was one of 2 members of the class of 2024. He's in his 9th season here at ASU now, at the helm of the Sun Devils. And yeah, he was just, he was officially inducted on Tuesday at the Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. And again, man, look, we've talked about what he's done, but I mean, just getting the players in, and these golfers have done a phenomenal job. Even it was late at night, he gave Riggs Johnson a huge shout out on his win over was the DP Cup, and I think he's he was in Europe, but yeah. But yeah, Coach Thurman, I mean, man, he has led the Sun Devils, guys, and I know I talked about this, to 24 tournament wins, including the last ever Pac-12 championship. Well, Pac-12 as we know it, but yes, Pac-12 is still there. And Oregon State, Washington State out of schools kept it going. So, but yeah, the Pac-12 championship and consecutive NCAA regional titles in 2022 and 2023. They made NCAA championship match play 3 times in their 6 NCAA championship appearances since Thurman arrived. Took over as head coach. And the highest they finished a runner-up in 2022, the program's highest finish at the NCAA championship since winning it back in 1996. And in becoming a 4-time West Region Coach of the Year, 2018 and then 2022 to 2024, a 2-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year, 2019 and 2024, a 2024 Arnold Palmer Cup Team USA head coach. We talked about that when we had him on. He did that, so he was about to go do that, but and the 2021-2022 Arizona State Athletics Frank Kush Award recipient. Thurman has coached 11 different Sun Devils to 18 All-America honors, 3-time Ping All-American Josele Ballester, became the first player from Spain to win the U.S. Amateur Championship in August, and the 2019 Jan Strickland Outstanding Assistant Coach Award recipient, Armin Kirakosian, was on Thurman's staff. So yeah, I mean, just again, he started back, at BYU, which is his alma mater. In the 99-2000 season, the Cougars won 7 tournaments then. But again, as you get what I'm saying, like, he has just crushed it here in Tempe. So well-deserved, well-earned, but well-deserved honor for Coach Thurman. Forks up. I look forward to having him on again soon before they get rolling in the spring. Obviously, Missy Farquet and the women golf-wise had a very solid fall. Again, we had her on. Coach K was great. But golf at ASU, again, just like everything. Hashtag our state. Thank you to volleyball for that, for getting me on that one. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where when you look at what golf-wise, I mean, what Coach Thurman has done, and again, it's just, it's like track and tennis. They're individual team sports, like unless you're playing doubles. But when you're playing match play, I get it. I get that in golf. But man, just the way the teams play, and they are definitely always in it. So, man, huge ups to Coach, obviously, big shout out to Coach Thurman getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. Man, just absolutely awesome. And on to that point, men's golf, real quick, I'll give you a little update. In the fall so far, they were first in the Sahali Players Championship in Sammamish, Washington. I know, say that 10 times fast. Forget that, say it 5 times fast. The Sahali Players Championship in Sammamish, Washington. They were first. They finished first. 2-round total. They were 7 under as a team. And then in the OFCC Fighting Illini Invitational in Illinois, I don't know, you guys got that. They finished second at 11 under. They were first after they were at top of the leaderboard after the first round. They shot a 7 under 273 as a group, and then they were second. And they were 1 under. That makes no sense. So they were 11 under though for the tournament. And that was back in September 20th through 22nd, but they finished second at 11 under. The Ben Hogan Collegiate, which was September 30th and October 1st in Fort Worth. After round 1, they were tied for 5th. They were 8 over, and they played 2 rounds. Sorry, it was 2 rounds. And then October 1st, that's crazy. They were 11 under, but nonetheless, they finished 5th alone there. And then the match play, the Big 12 match play in Texas, which was October 7th through 9th, they won day 1. They won 4-1 over Cincinnati. Won 4-1 over Cincinnati. Lost 3-2 to Baylor. Tied 2-2-1 versus Iowa State on the second day. And then on the third day, on the 9th, they won 3-2 over Kansas. Then they played in the Williams Cup, which is in Wilmington, North Carolina, October 20th through the 21st. Well, it said Tuesday. Maybe some teams had to finish up on Tuesday. But, they finished first at 7 under par. And so, now they will, be practicing and, of course, be playing. But their next the next time they will be competing is February 6th through the 8th in Puako, Hawaii. And that is the Amir Ari Invitational. So, again, just rocking it, man. Just absolutely rocking it is this team. And, again, there are some players back from last year. There are some players that are gone. And there's new players. But Osele Ballister Senior is back, and then also Preston Summerhays is back, and I want to say Connor Williams too is back from last year, and Nick Prieto. Yeah, Nick's back as well from last year. So yeah, if you guys back, but again, there's some so I look very excited, but Coach Sir, again, man, it's just if you haven't got to go out and see Sun Devil golf play, again, you're kind of missing out. I'm just telling you, you're not just don't take it from me. Just saying it's absolutely awesome. So that being said, on the women's side of golf, real quick, in other news and notes, like I said, I've told you they have done very very well, and they, their fall schedule, they played in the Annika Intercollegiate in Lake Elmo, Minnesota. They finished 4th in that tournament. Shot 2 under and finished 4th. Then they did the Mason Rudolph Championship in Franklin, Tennessee, which they tied for 5th. Shot a 20 under par as a team. So yeah, tied for 5th. And that was September 20th and 22nd. Like I said, then they went to the Windy City Collegiate in Wilmette, Illinois, where they were 1st and they shot 11 over. And yeah, end of September, you're into fall, obviously, and it's actually fall. So, but they were 11 over and finished 1st. So, yeah, tough conditions, but hey, I love when coach does that because they've played in some, in Pac-12 tournaments, up in Washington, even at the end of the year, having to deal with, not the best of conditions, or, what you would call pristine or perfect conditions, or close to. But yeah, I finished 1st at 11 over. Then they went to the Stanford Intercollegiate, where they played very, very well. They finished 5th, and they were 8 over as a team. Stanford won that, and they are still very good. Then they went to Kailua Kona, Hawaii, and the Nanea tournament, where they finished 2nd at 17 under par. Yeah, that was October 28th through 30th. They have a one-off at the end of January 27th, a Monday. It's a match in the desert in Gold Canyon. I'll get more information about that as I get it. But again, you can go out there, check them out on a Monday, and watch them play, have some lunch, enjoy. But yeah, they are out there. But man, again, Missy Farquet is doing a phenomenal job with this team. Beth Coulter back from last year, Patience Rhodes as well. Paula Scholl Sanson, Grace Summerhays, who is a senior as well. But yeah, just absolutely, again, phenomenal job by both the coaches. And again, if you haven't seen any golf, you're missing out. You're definitely missing out. I'm just going to say that, but that's just me. Again, want to give a big shout out to Sun Devil O-line coach Saga Tuitele for jumping into Pitchfork Lunch, making his first appearance here. Again, forks up to you, Coach, for doing that. Again, at Diablo00 on X, the artist formerly known as the Twitter. You can see show live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. My IG, Michael.Caratoon.5. The YouTube channel, guys, if you missed the interview, if you're just jumping in, which some may have, or you jumped in after the interview, actually, it's the conversation, because it's great to just, again, have conversations with these coaches. But with Coach Tuitele, then guess what? Go to my YouTube channel, subscribe. It's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005 at MVC 005 on YouTube, and subscribe. Also, those listening on the Casual Sports Radio Network, yes, we are on KSRN, the best internet radio station out there. You can go to www.ksrnaz.com. You're driving. Of course, I want you to watch. I don't want you to watch and driving, like I always say. You're Sun Devils. You're smarter than that anyway. But you can listen on the Casual Sports Radio Network. So you go to www.ksrnaz. Boom, page opens up. Click listen live. Hit play. Bam, there's Pitchfork Lunch. Run it through your Bluetooth in your car. You're driving to lunch. And then when you get to lunch, yeah, you can obviously keep listening. Or and turn on and watch, all the good stuff, but get the interviews here. So anyway, everybody have a phenomenal rest of your Thirsty Thursday. Hope that quenched some Sun Devil thirst. Yes, Cam Scadaboo should be in New York. And by the way, for those of you who saw on X, College Football Live putting up graphics, and for ASU, it has Arizona symbol. Would they ever do that to Alabama? Would Auburn symbol be up? I mean, that's just okay. I asked how that could happen, and I still haven't gotten a response. Yes, they don't respond to everything, but I figure at least, and I did ask in a civil way. So for those of you that saw, we can touch on that tomorrow, but absolutely disgusting. Don't want to see that logo when talking about us, because we're in the playoff. You're not. Just like the Rose Bowl, social distancing. Anyway, everybody have a great rest of your Thirsty Thursday. I will talk to you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. And yes, kids, you know it. #OurState. And yes, #OurState. And as always, as you know, forks up.
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil, man.
The 27-yard line. That's a great call. Play fake. Bubba will put it up. Throws over the middle. Touchdown. Great flag.
That's away. Trying to center off Eckerly, and he just missed the net. O'Reilly with the shot. Far down